Hello guys, welcome to a new video. In this video we're gonna review Canon 800D. This camera is also known as Canon T7i in US. It's a great camera guys. This camera was launched in 2017 and it is a 24 megapixel sensor. It can shoot full HD 60 frames per second. ISO ranges from 100 to 25,000, expanded up to 51,600. Before we begin the video guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe to our channel and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you always get notified whenever I post a new video. Alright, let's begin the video guys. This camera can also shoot 6 frames per second, so it is not the best camera when it comes to wildlife, action photography or sports photography, but 6 frames per second is still more than good enough for like normal day-to-day use. If you want to shoot your kid at their school sports event, or you want to do portrait photography or landscape photography, then it's a great camera guys. The weight of the camera is around 530 grams, so it's a pretty light camera, and in terms of grip and ergonomics, it's a really nice camera. When you hold it in your hand, it feels really nice, and it is easy to operate it one hand. You can pretty much change all the options and the different menu settings just with one hand, no problem whatsoever guys. This camera also has Wi-Fi and NFC, so that is really helpful whenever you are using it connected with your mobile phone. So from your mobile phone you can operate the camera, you can change the focus point, you can start or stop the video, you can take a selfie, and you can also transfer the images wirelessly as well guys. When we talk about the video aspect of this camera has a microphone input jack, so you can connect external microphone on the camera to get better audio, and in the full HD it can shoot up to 60 frames per second. This camera has a flip out screen, and it's a really nice variangle screen. You can change the direction of the screen to wherever you want. Beside that guys, this also feature anti-flicker mode in the video, so if there is some kind of a flickering due to the different lights, it will reduce that. And also it has digital image stabilization in the movie mode, so if you are shooting handheld movie, so it would add some kind of a stabilization so that you get a more steady footage in the video guys. Beside that guys, it also has time-lapse photography, which is really helpful, and this camera also has HDR option as well, so you can take multiple exposure and then later on combine them to make a high dynamic range photo guys. You can use this camera as a webcam just in case you want to do live streaming for YouTube, or you want to use this camera as a webcam for Microsoft Teams or Zoom meetings. Nowadays everyone is working from home and they are attending a lot of different meetings, so using this camera would give you a better image quality compared to the webcam that you have on your laptop. So this is a really nice feature to use this camera as a webcam. This camera has 45 autofocus point and all of them are cross type, so it is having exactly the same autofocus system that you see on Canon 80D, even though this is much cheaper compared to 80D, and the low light performance on this camera is better than 80D. And it's a great camera. 80D has slightly more options in terms of like build quality. It has some dedicated dials which this camera doesn't have, but in terms of image quality this is an excellent camera and even better than 80D guys. And the autofocus works really very nice when you are taking photos, and since it has this dual pixel autofocus in the video, that is really awesome. Whenever you are recording your videos, it always keeps your face in focus, no matter if you are moving like this and that, moving in the front or in the back, it will always keep your face in focus. And if you are using the STM lens, they are kind of silent and there is no focus hunting whatsoever with those lenses, so it works really very awesome. So for video this is a really nice camera guys. Now guys, I'm gonna put onto the screen some of the photos that I've taken with this camera, so you can see for yourself how the photo looks like. And trust me guys, the photos are really very awesome. The photos were taken in not that great lighting situation, and nowadays it's cloudy and hazy and snowing all the time, and the light is not that great, but still in low lighting it can take great images, because the high ISO performance of this camera is still great. It doesn't have so much grains, even if you are shooting at a high ISO. So easily you can shoot up to 6400 ISO on this camera, and you will not be getting too much grains both in the video and also in the photographs. So it's a great low light camera, guys. And the colors and the contrast and the saturation, everything looks really nice out of the camera. You don't have to do too much editing or post-processing work if you are using this camera. Everything looks really very awesome, even if you are shooting JPEG photos. Now I'm gonna put onto the screen the video footage that I've taken with this camera, guys. And since I already talked about the autofocus in the video for this camera, it is really very awesome. You don't have to worry too much about autofocus when it comes to video. It's a great camera for making cinematic videos in full HD. It is not a 4K camera, but the 4K camera are more expensive. If you are looking for something 4K, you have to maybe go for Sony or Canon R6 or R5 or Nikon Z50 or ZFC. Those are much better 4K camera. But if you want something full HD, then this is a great camera. So you can see the video footage now. Hello guys, right now the video that you are seeing is from the 800D camera, and I'm having the Sigma 18-300 lens on this, and this lens is having image stabilization into it, and already you can see the sharpness and the colors looks really nice from the lens. Now I'm focused on this leaves. Now I'm focused on these leaves, and you can see how nice the background blur looks. It's totally blurred out. So it's a great lens for portrait. If you have a good lighting situation, then it is a very good lens, guys. Alright guys, now I'm gonna show you a close-up of how the camera looks like. So from the back, the camera looks something like this. So just similar to how most of the Canon camera are. From the top, it looks like this. So it has this on-off switch. When it is at on mode, that means you are in the photography mode, and then you can see we have this video camera icon here. When you put the camera over here, then your camera is in the video mode. Now it's in the photo mode, now it's off. So it's very useful, and from this dial you can control different modes, like if you want to use fully manual mode or aperture priority mode or shutter priority mode, and different kind of mode. If you have put your camera on M and you are in video mode, so automatically you are using manual exposure in video. If you put it on AV, then you are using aperture priority mode in the video. So it's very simple. And on this side you can put your SD card. So some of the Canon camera like Canon 200D or Canon SL2, they have the SD card slot here in the battery compartment, which is something I don't like because it's a bit of a hassle to bring out the SD card from there. And on this side we have the interesting ports. So you can see the microphone input port over here, and you also have the USB port and the HDMI port over here, and over here you can see the microphone input port. So overall it's a great camera and very simple to use, and it takes great photos and great video, guys. Now the final question: should you get this camera in 2022? Well guys, if you can get this camera for around $350 to $400, so between $350 to $400 would be a very good price for a used camera along with the 18 to 55mm kit lens, then definitely you can go for this camera, because even though it is 5-year-old, but the image quality that you get with this camera is at par with some of the latest mirrorless camera, because this camera is having pretty much the same sensor that you have on Canon M50, and the image quality is exactly at par. And if you are into making videos, so this camera can make full HD video 60 frames per second, and the video quality is exactly same that you can get with some of the more expensive mirrorless camera, and the autofocus system is exactly the same because it has dual pixel autofocus. And even the more expensive mirrorless camera Canon have same autofocus system. Yeah, if you buy Canon EOS RP, it also provide you eye tracking autofocus, but if you are doing these kind of like talking head kind of video like I do, tracking of the face is really awesome. It has no problem whatsoever. So maybe you don't need eye tracking, you can do with just the face tracking, and the face tracking on this camera works perfectly fine. You can also get this camera if you want a really solid camera for your YouTube video, and using some post-processing software you can convert your full HD video to 4K and then upload it to YouTube. But even if you upload your video in full HD to YouTube, they are more than enough, because most of the people watch their videos on their smartphone, and on the smartphone most of them are watching them in lower resolution. So even a full HD video on a smartphone looks really nice and sharp, guys. And if you are a hobby photographer, you can take great photos with this camera. If you buy like the 50mm lens, you can get really nice portrait photos with nice background blur. So overall, with this camera you can get great results for photography, you can get great results for video as well. So it's a perfect camera which covers all your bases, that too at a very low price point, 350 to 400 US dollar. A great price for such a nice camera which offers you so many features, guys. Alright guys, I hope you liked my video. If you liked my video, please press the like button and share it, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. Alright, I will see you in the next video, guys.